Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Seoul, South Korea. And in this video I'm going to be breaking down how expensive things are in the capital city, going through my expenses in one day on accommodation, food, transportation, sightseeing, including where I went yesterday, and giving you a rough estimate on how much you'll end up spending here. So let's begin with my accommodation here in Hongdae, where I'm staying. And I'm currently at a place called K-Pop Stay, and it's around 23,500 won per night. So that's just beneath £16 on average that I've been paying. So considering that South Korea perhaps has a reputation of being a little bit more expensive than the rest of Asia, you know, countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, they're all less expensive than South Korea. I think most people know that. It's not quite as expensive as Japan, but it's more expensive than the rest of those kind of Asian countries. So for just beneath £16 a night for this room, which you can see in these shots here, I think it's not bad. It's really comfortable. I have a curtain, a nice bed, sockets in there, Wi-Fi is super fast, really clean bathrooms, very friendly staff, everything's there, right in the center of Hongdae. You walk out of the hostel and you reach these streets, which have tons of independent clothes shops and places to eat, students, and a great vibe. Just found this Korean noodle place while looking for breakfast. You can see here the prices: buckwheat noodle soup and others, kimchi noodle, all for around 7,000 won, 7,500, 8,000 for a few others, 6,500 for the noodles with radish and kimchi, and for dumplings 4,500 and 4,000. A few hours ago I had my breakfast nearby my hostel in Hongdae, and that came to 7,000 won for spicy dumpling noodle soup. It came with kimchi, of course, and water, you help yourself. That's just under £5, and based on my experience the last few days, if you can eat anywhere between 5 to 7,000 won, you're doing very well. Anything under £5 is good for a lunch, breakfast, or dinner. So it's now a few hours later, of course, and I'm looking for somewhere to get my lunch. I am currently walking around Hongdae again, the same area that I was roaming in my first video, my first impressions of South Korea. And I'm gonna find somewhere to eat around here, and then I'll get on the subway, show you the transportation, and I'll move on to a different area of Seoul that I haven't experienced yet. There are a ton of places to eat in this part of Hongdae here, so I'm going to have a little stroll down here and show you some prices. Different chicken curries, some with shrimp, all around 10,000 won, which is actually over £6, nearly 7. That's a little bit expensive. 8,500, 9,000. Ramen, this is all Japanese food, 8,500. Here we have a very reasonable and great little noodle soup place. 3,500, 5,000, so all under £5, 4,000. That's very reasonable. I already had noodle soup today, so I'm not going to venture here, but if you eat somewhere like this, you can definitely budget pretty well here in Seoul. So I just finished my lunch there, and I had a curry with vegetables and fried chicken, and that came to 10,000 won. I am dipping into meat and fish occasionally, traveling in some countries because it's just too difficult to stay vegetarian all the time, and so my food tastes are changing slightly. Anyway, I'm now heading towards the metro, so heading on to the metro system now. You can see exactly what it's like. There are some ticket machines over here, so you can buy a ticket for a single journey. Just click English.
This is a disposable transportation card printout machine.
Then pick the station, enter your money. It's really simple. Alternatively, you can pay just 5,000 won for one of these purple cards, and it'll be much cheaper to get around on the metro using one of these. You can also use it for buses. I believe you can use it in other parts of South Korea when traveling on metro systems in other cities, or using buses or trains, something like that, but it can be used for many things. So it's really worth having if you're planning to stay here, even for a few days like me. Your journeys are going to work out cheaper using this card than paying for single ticket journeys every single time. So I'm now going to head on the metro, and I'll let you know how many stops I take and how much it costs on this card. Honestly, the metro system here is amazing. Each station has toilets, ATMs. You obviously have a real easy time getting a single journey ticket or charging your card. There are also e-marts and other things available. It's just so convenient, so well signed. It has English. So onto the metro. You can see here 4,250. 1,250 it charged. So I'm heading on the Green Line. I'm here at Hongik University and I'm going to Gangnam, which is one of the most affluent and coolest areas of Seoul. You can get a taste of the underground feel here, very modern and spacious and just super nice and pleasant to use. Heading down to the lines now. You can see it has both sides with Korean but also English. I'm heading to Gangnam, so I need to go on this side. It actually looks like the most organized underground train I've ever seen. Everyone's standing in line, holding the handrail, waiting to get the seat, and all the space in the middle. So I've just come out of the underground subway, metro, I'm not sure what you call it here in Korea. I'm now in Gangnam, one of the most affluent districts in Seoul, and of course well known for Gangnam Style, the song by Psy that got more views than any other video on YouTube ever, I think. I'm not sure if it's still top. So I'm going to explore around this area now, show a few prices of maybe different food and if I can get in a supermarket as well. Personally, for myself, just discover this area that is world famous and see a different part to Seoul. I'm on the south side of the river now. All the other exploring I've done in the previous 2 videos have been on the north side. I'm going to take a turn off the main road here and head down one of the side streets with all these neon lights and signs overhanging the street. Tons of food choices on this road. Again, we're seeing dishes for just under 10,000, between £4 and £6, I would say. More Korean food. We're seeing 7,000 won here. This is more of a grill place though. You can see the different meats for a plate that you would get. And on here, some other prices. You can see the English. Seoul for sure has become one of my favorite cities in the world just in the last few days. It's certainly one of the best I've visited in Asia. I've only scratched the surface, but I've really been impressed by the capital of South Korea and I would love to come back and visit. I'm leaving South Korea tomorrow actually. Anyway, there is an e-mart just here, so I'm going to go inside and show you some prices. It's a bit like 7-Eleven, except they're everywhere here in Seoul, so I think this is a better portrayal of the prices. Super nice and organized, isn't it? Even a little seating area over here. Instant coffees between 1,000 and 1,500. Cold meats on a stick. 2,000 roughly. This one 1,700. Small orange juice for 1,400. Soft boiled egg 1,900. A roasted egg 1,900. Small bimbap 1,400. Sandwiches 2,300 I'm seeing here. 2,200. 2,900 for fruit. Pineapple here for 2,800. Small breads 1,500. 1,100. You can even pick up a small ice for just 600 or 800 for a big one. 1,600, 1,500 for different instant noodles. How about wine? You can see in here prices ranging from 20 to 30,000, but you can also get it as cheap as 12,900. So under £10 you can find a bottle. I think convenient is the best way to describe South Korea, and you can even buy memory cards, chargers, and cables, headphones, pens, pencils, all that stuff, not just food. They even have a frozen section with ice cream. I think this little shop here might be the best convenience store I've seen in any country around the world. This trumps like the best 7-Eleven I've seen. So I'm now sat down in the E-Mart, and just to show that you can actually eat in here because there's so much choice, I bought a few things, so let's go through the prices of them. So for a triangular gimbap, which is tuna with kimchi, 1,000. Then we have the pineapple, 2,800, and this kind of probiotic berry yogurt drink was 1,500. It's like a convenience store of the future. You even have Wi-Fi, as you can see on the table. It's kind of a 7-Eleven mixed with a Starbucks in a way. So I just finished those few snacks from the E-Mart and back on the streets of Gangnam, and it's just so amazing to see all the lights and the atmosphere now. Today is actually another public holiday. It's actually a Friday too, meaning that everyone has today or tomorrow off on Saturday. I'm back here in Hongdae near my hostel, and before I wrap up this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about sightseeing prices, and there isn't really much because I haven't, paid for too many attractions so far. The only one was the palace yesterday. That was 3,000 won to enter, so really quite reasonable. That's around £2. Everything else, I've just been walking around and soaking in the streets, eating the food, of course, going shopping. You can do other things like go up the Seoul Tower. All the other palaces have entrance fees, but like Joe said to me yesterday, they're really cheap for heritage sites in Korea. It's very reasonable. They encourage people to visit. I also forgot to mention there's a taxi app that you can use called Kakao Taxi. It's the same as Uber or Grab in other countries in Asia. The only difference is that it's just the Korean version of it, and it's actually relatively inexpensive. It's not awful, and it's very convenient to use. So that's the app you should download if you want to take a taxi. If you want to try some of the street food, which is quite popular, you can see a few prices here. 2,500 for the gimbap, 3,000 for the sundae, which is the glass noodle sausage, and different sticks there, potato, hot dog, 2,000 and 2,500 for the octopus. So after having some of that food from the E-Mart, I still wasn't quite full, so I actually went to grab some kimchi dumplings because I was missing the ones that I had yesterday at the market, although they were nowhere near as good as the ones that I did have yesterday. So yeah, can't be replaced, that flavor, but still enjoyed them a lot. And with that, I'm going to wrap up the video. I have all the costs for today, so I can add them all up to give you a daily total. In total, it comes to 52,200 won, which is around £35, just beneath it. I think that's kind of a benchmark, kind of an average amount you probably would expect to spend in one day here in Seoul. It can be a lot more if you're drinking, if you're staying in private rooms, and if you're paying 20,000 just to go up the Seoul Tower, or if you're doing more expensive shopping than me, for example, then it's all going to add up to a lot more. So it's very subjective, of course, but I just showed you a few prices. So you can budget here, it's possible. You can do it for less than I did today, but you can also do it between 30 and 50, I would say. And that's not too bad if you just want to spend a few days in Seoul and then leave Korea, or if you actually want to travel in Korea for just 1 or 2 weeks, then you can do it on a budget and it's possible. So I hope that gave you a good idea of how expensive things are here in the capital city. And with that, it's my last video in Korea for now. See you in the next country. Peace.